Since I've been talking about the Afrikaner refugees, there's one odd question that keeps coming up every so often. That question is, what are they going to be called when they get there? They're going to be called Afrikaners. They're going to be called immigrants. Why do people think stuff changes when they move into the United States of America? Why do people think ethnic groups and stuff change when you move into the United States of America? I don't understand. People are like, are they going to be called European? Are they going to be called African? Are they going to be called... First of all, for the most part, when someone sees someone white in the United States of America, the first thing they don't think is African. That's just the facts, okay? Even if we know they're Afrikaner, we don't think African for real, for real. That's just the facts, okay? It's more of descent, okay? So when we see them, we know from where they descend. And Afrikaners come out of Europe by descent. Now, if you just want to talk about nationality, where they were born, okay, they were born and they are citizens of South Africa. And just because someone moves into the United States of America, that doesn't automatically make them a citizen. It does not automatically make them American. Where do people get that from? Moving to the United States of America does not change anything, okay? They're Afrikaners. They aren't American citizens. They have refugee status. They aren't Americans. Period. They are who they are. Their children are who they are forever. It's called an ethnicity. Okay? Period. That's who they are. That's who they are to the day they die. I don't care where they move. They can move to Jamaica. They can move to Japan. They can move to Nigeria. That's who they are to the day they die. It doesn't change. Please get that out of your heads. When people just move somewhere, that does not mean their whole makeup and their whole history. It does not change their whole history. History is a part of your ethnicity. Your whole history does not change because you step into the United States of America. It doesn't wipe out everything that you've grown up with, everything that your people have done wherever you are from. It does not change anything about your ethnicity. It doesn't change. If they become citizens at some point, then their nationality, not their ethnicity, their nationality will be American. Will they be African American? That's the doofy part. Oh my gosh. No. They will not be. They don't share any African American history. That's my ethnic group. They don't know anything about African Americans. They aren't African American. And for people who do not understand compound words, I've done this before. I've put this illustration up before, okay? Ice cream. Ice is one thing, cream is another. You put it together, a compound word is a totally different thing, right? Base, and then you have a ball. A base is not a ball is not a base. But you put it together, you create a what? A whole different term with a whole different meaning, right? Right. So, no, they're not African American. You ever heard of the transatlantic slave trade? Okay, they're not African American. African Americans co-founded the United States of America. They did not. African Americans were emancipated in the 1800s. Afrikaners were not. A whole war was fought. A whole civil war was fought. Over what? African Americans. Afrikaners had nothing to do with that. That's called history. So if they didn't have an African American Emancipation Day back in the 1800s, guess what? If none of their ancestors, none of them, were emancipated in the United States of America, they're not African American. That's what you call an ethnicity. Just like I can't go over to South Africa as an African American and say I'm South African. I'm a South African citizen just because I'm African American. I'm not a citizen at all. I don't belong to any of the ethnic tribes or the ethnic groups in that country. The only way that I can become a South African is by naturalization. And then that would be a nationality. It would not be my ethnic group. My ethnic group will be ethnic Black American, aka African American, till the day I leave the planet Earth. So, now that that's all broken down, what will Afrikaners be called when they arrive to America? Well, they're already here. They'll be called Afrikaners. And if people want to call them by their nationality, they will call them South African. They're not American. And if they want to become an American, someone also already said somewhere Afrikaner American or South African American. But they will never, ever, 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 ever be African American. It's an impossibility. Hope that clears things up.